Hi, I'm Jen Soska. And I'm Sylvia Soska. And we're the Soska Sisters. And this is Indie Horror Junkie. Indie Horror Junkie.
Indie Horror Junkie.
Indie Horror Junkie.
Indie Horror Junkie.
Indie Horror Junkie.
Indie Horror Junkie.
Indie Horror Junkie.
We're a panic attack.
Indie Horror Junkie.
Indie Horror Junkies.
Indie Horror Junkie. Indie Horror Junkie.
It's the Indie Horror Junkie Podcast, your source for anything and everything indie horror. Here's your host, Otis B. Dreads. All right, it is 8 o'clock. Do you know where your indie horror's at? It is right here, Rick. You get it right every week.
Every week. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Asylum Amy is joining us this week. How are you, dear? Sporting the Indie Horror Junkie shirt. I have one as well.
I have one in the closet. So
nice. Nice. We got a great show tonight. Miss Bryn.
Damn, I
forgot.
Damn,
you forgot again.
I had to. Bryn Dami is going to join us. Writer, producer. She does sound
director.
Stuff,
she does everything.
Director. She does a little bit of everything. She's going to be coming on talking about her projects and what she's got coming up. But let's do a little housekeeping first. Good segue into the shirts. We have some brand new. We got a bunch of brand new.
Yeah, we do.
The Horror Junkie.
Look at that
shirt.
Addicted to blood pumping, girls screaming, hatchet to the head, hide under the bed, and call your mother indie horror films.
That is absolutely beautiful with the logo on it. And you modeled it for us. Look at that.
That background looks familiar, don't it?
It does. Yeah.
Where can you get this? You may be asking. And I can tell you exactly where you can get it. The brand new, revamped IndieHorrorJunkie.com.
Look at that.
Would you look at that? Yes, that's a glimpse right there of what you can expect when you go to IndieHorrorJunkie.com. It has all the same great stuff that the old one had, just a brand new look. And I think it looks absolutely amazing. Ray, give a shout out to who put that together. His name escapes me.
His name is Salo Zayas. He developed the website for us. He was also our DP in our feature film, The Clock, and an all-around really good guy.
And
speaking of the clock,
I know the segue is flowing like water.
Look at
That's
this.
right. Bayview Entertainment picks up The Clock for worldwide distribution. Congratulations, Rick.
Thank you.
You were in The Clock. This is great. Acclaimed filmmaker, podcaster, and movie journalist Danford creates a love letter to horror films and classic radio shows he enjoyed as a child. Now, of course, I'm not going to go through and read all that.
No.
But because I couldn't see it.
We blasted it everywhere today.
That's right. Yep.
So congratulations to you, Rick, Amy, everybody else who worked on the clock. That is absolutely awesome. Indie horror is on the rise. It's great.
We're really proud of that movie. That again, we filmed that in 5 days in Brooksville, Florida. We had an amazing cast and crew, like Rick said, Salo, who just built, hey Molly, Salo, who just built out our website for us. He was the director of photography, the editor. He helped with sound. He wore many hats along with Rick. So, you know, that's indie films for you. Everybody does a little bit of everything, and we made something really cool. And, you know, you guys will be checking that out on some streaming platforms by the end of the year. Babe, you also took it to the Cannes Festival. Cannes right now. They're one of the top 3 film festivals in the world. So we're super excited for that. That's and awesome. We'll see what happens, but making moves.
Also, if you're a little late to the party, the new issue is out. Issue 9, of course. We got Wendy Feliciano. I think I got that right. Kevin Kidgley on the cover there. They both did all of the makeup and all the stuff you see there. Get on over and get you some physical copies of the Indie Horror Junkie podcast. That is probably my favorite cover so far.
It's so cool.
It's so awesome looking.
And all the physical copies and the PDF copies are at indiehorrorjunkie.com. The website is live, so you guys can check it out and get your merch, get your magazines, scroll around.
Support local indie films.
That's right. And let us know how you like the new look. I think it looks amazing. We'd like to hear think as well. Miss our guest, as I mentioned, Miss Bryn Dami. I'll never forget that.
You said that last time.
I know. Damn, I forgot.
Very talented young indie horror artist. She is really making some big moves with some very big names in the indie horror movie genre. She's got some really cool people attached to a film that we're going to discuss tonight that she's in pre-production for. She has an Indiegogo campaign we're going to talk about, and then just her whole ride through, you know, what we do in indie horror land over here.
Indie horror land. All right, we got a promo from her Never Return Indiegogo campaign. Let's check it out. We're going to come back and talk with Bryn.
Hi, everybody. My name is Bryn Dami. I am the writer and director of Never Return. Never Return originated back when I was in high school. I wrote this, and it was originally called TikTok. I put it on stage as a play for a final project in my drama class when I was a junior. And I knew from that day on, as soon as I put it on stage, that one day I wanted to make this into a horror feature film. And now the time has come, and I have found a group of wonderful, amazing human beings that I know will work their butt off to make my story come alive. I would also like to start off by thanking Adam Michael, who helped me rewrite some scenes in this movie as my co-writer, and he will also be our DP of the film. I would also like to shout out our amazing cast. We have wonderful talent attached, such as Kaylee Heyman, Rick the Selfie Guy, both from Terrifier 2. We have Gabriella Pizzolo, who played Susie on Stranger Things. And we also have Felissa Rose, who is an iconic scream queen that I have become great friends with and cannot wait to work with again. And to my crew, my friends, and my family, and just all of the above supporters, I would really, really love to thank you so much for all your love and support. I cannot express how much gratitude I have for you guys. It means the world to me to know that I have so many people that want to back my film, to support me in my career, and I just can't wait to share this film with the horror community. This film is about a young man named Jackson who goes on a little trip with his friends before they go off to college and start their adult lives. And his sisters, Carter and Zoe, go missing. 4 years later, they reunite before they really actually graduate college and really enter adulthood, and things just go to hell. This is a slasher horror film that includes love and comedy, drama, and of course, lots of blood and great kills. And I cannot wait to share this with you guys. This film means more to me than anybody honestly could ever know. As I've said, I wrote this in high school, put it on stage, and now to have it be a real feature film that should be made here in the next few months is mind-blowing, and I am just very grateful for my casting crew. I cannot say it enough. Now, we have an amazing amount of perks that I am really excited for you guys to check out. We have a plethora of different producer perks with different things involved in them. We have survival kits that also include a plethora of different things as each level goes up. We're offering autograph opportunities, video chats, videos from set, from cast and crew, and so on. And I just can't wait for you guys to take a peek at everything and see what really catches your eye. I wanted to make this personal, but also a fun little experience for my backers and for those that just share. Just remember though, if you cannot back the movie, it is okay. That sharing goes a long way, and no matter what, my cast, myself, and my crew all appreciate it. So I cannot wait for you guys to see Never Return, and I can't wait to get on set. So thank you, thank you, thank you for the millionth time for the love and support, and you will see more news on Never Return very soon.
All right. Well,
Yay.
great job.
I made myself cringe. Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
Bryn, welcome to the Indie Horror Junkie podcast. Tell us a little bit more about Never Return. That's a pretty interesting story about, you know, how it came from like way back in drama class. That's awesome.
I love that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys for having me, first of all. This is amazing. You guys are awesome, and I'm just really happy to be here. So yeah, I wrote this in high school. My drama teachers gave us the opportunity my junior and senior year for final projects to write one-act plays. And for that, I wrote what it was called TikTok, that is now Never Return. And obviously it's grown a lot more from what I had on stage. With stage, we had a smaller cast. We didn't have the cameras and everything. So it was a completely different atmosphere as to what we're going to be looking forward to within the next year with Never Return. And so as I explained, Never Return is about a group of friends that go on a weekend getaway, and our lead male, Jackson, his sisters, Carter and Zoe, go missing. And so we jump 4 years later and the group reunites, and they're about to really start their adult lives, and things just go to hell. And I feel like you guys definitely love a good slasher film, and that's what this is. But there's also love and comedy, revenge, happiness. It's a mixture of so many things besides horror. And when I write, I'm one of those people that loves to watch material that has characters you can connect to. If you're going to make me cry while I'm watching something, like, beautiful, you did your job. And I feel like with these characters, there's going to be a lot of moments when it finally hits the big screens where people are going to be like, oh my gosh, like, I relate to this person or that person, or, oh, I hope they don't die. I hope this person doesn't die. There's so many different personalities and dynamics. And as I've continued to prep for this and look over the script more and more, it's like these characters are my kids in a weird way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really blessed and excited for every single part of this.
That's awesome. And you have, I'm going to go through some of the cast here. As I think you mentioned a little bit in the promo. We have Isabella Carlson. Mm-hmm. If you want to say anything about any of these as I go through them, feel free, Bryn.
Yeah, Isabella, I actually met her through TikTok. So she's an actress based in Atlanta, and I just loved her content. And she also has posted her auditions and everything, and has shown the breakdown for actors and how a lot of that goes. and she's an amazing human being, and I just can't wait to work with her because she's just stellar and such a sweetie pie.
That's awesome. Kaylee Hyman.
Yes, I am super, super blessed and excited to work with Kaylee. I've met her at a couple different conventions, and we've talked about Never Return in person and have kept in touch since we have cast her. And she's, as everybody knows who Kaylee is from Terrifier 2, she played Brooke. And I... Listen, when I first met her, I was like, dude, I was so pissed when you died.
And what a death.
What a death.
I mean, let alone the bedroom scene with Casey. That's also another one. Like, Casey's amazing too. That whole cast and crew is just incredible. I love that group. But with Kaylee, she's so sweet, and she's just the excitement that she's told me, and she's ready to go. And that's what makes me even more excited, is to continuously have my cast and crew say things like that. And I just can't wait to work with her because she's just incredible.
That's awesome. Yeah, everybody remembers that scene. Candace Air?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I met Candace in college, so I know her character is a little bit bitchy. And so I'm excited for her to show that side of her, because she's really good at playing a bitch. So that's going to be really fun.
Well, she kind of has that look on her face. No offense. Right there.
I'm sure she'd be like, yeah, that's me.
That's a great character shot for her.
Yeah, that's great. Ashley Ray.
That is my co-host for Steel City Screams. She's amazing. I can't wait to work with Ashley. I wanted her to act in this so badly, and Lisa was actually added a little bit later. She originally wasn't put in the script, and so I think it's going to be a nice little addition for the characters. And for Ashley, I'm really excited to work with her because she has so much talent and potential for this role specifically and in general. So she's amazing. I love Ashley.
And also with you working with her on a podcast, you guys have already got some chemistry there. So, you kind of know what each other, likes and whatnot. You work well together, basically.
100%.
Next on the list, Carmine Elvezio.
Elvezio, yes. This is our leading male. I also know Carmine from acting school and college. So he's such a sweetie pie. He's amazing. I can't wait to work with him. He's had nothing but excitement since the beginning as well. So he's great. I can't wait to see what he does with this character.
Awesome. Anthony Dane is Paul.
Anthony Dane. I love this guy. Amy, I don't know if you met him, but he was on The Boy from Below, Tori's movie as well. And,
oh man, I must have not been on his film dates because I would have remembered meeting him. But no, that's really cool. Okay.
Yeah, no, he's amazing, super talented. I cannot wait to work with this guy. I'll probably keep repeating with a lot of my cast, but genuinely, a lot of my cast is just not a lot. The whole lot of my cast is.
It's hard not to be excited,
Yeah.
It's amazing. I can't emphasize enough just how incredible everyone is that's involved, and it makes me more and more excited to get on set. I just can't wait to work with everybody.
And how cool is it to be in a position to be able to pull people in that you know from college acting and from studio acting, and people that you've met along the way who have been on this journey with you, and you know how hard they work and how hard they train, and to be able to give them the gift of the opportunity. I know, Rick and I, we cast a lot for different films, and it's just being able to pull people in that are talented and hardworking, and that and you want to give everybody around you, a role. And it's just fun to be able to pull people in one by one, project by project, and everybody gets their time to shine,
For sure. I agree with you 100%. And that's why, when I was going through the casting process, it was hard. It was very hard. I reached out to a lot of people, and we had a good amount of auditions, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how we're going to be able to pick who to cast. And I feel like that's how a lot of casting directors are, whoever is casting for a film. It's nuts, and it's so hard because there are so many talented people out there. And I'm one of those people that want to be able to give everybody a chance. And I think it's important to give people those chances. And when you start getting into Hollywood land, it can get very sticky and hard. And so with the indie world, I've noticed more and more there feels like there is a lot more opportunity and openness, which is really great. And I hope Hollywood opens up to that a little more, because it's nuts.
More community with indie.
I agree.
Yeah, for sure. Got a couple more to go through. Next on the list, the one and only Miss Felissa Rose. She is in absolutely everything.
She is nonstop, and I give her so much credit. But I worked with Felissa on an indie film a few years ago called Macabre Mountain, and that's
I just watched that the other night.
Yes.
It's on Tubi, and I believe it's on Amazon Prime as well. It was such a great time. The cast and crew was amazing. We filmed that in 12 days, busted our asses, and it was an experience. It really was. I mean, I could go on and on about every single person on that set. We had Robert Mukes, Dave Sheridan, Felissa Rose, Hannah Fearman, like every single person.
Every classic indie horror actor out there right now.
Elsie Holt, like I could go on and on and on. They're all such wonderful people, and I hope to continue working with them in the future. And now I have Felissa attached to my film, and I'm so grateful. She's incredible, but she is a non-stop worker, and I just really give her
everything.
She's filming, and I'm like, you go, girl.
It's like she's just jet setting every weekend. She's either on set or at a convention or at an appearance, but she has the best attitude and the best energy, and she takes time with every single person that comes to see her. And I really think that has a lot to do with how popular she is, because she's so lovable and easy to work with, and she's personable with everyone. And so that makes all the difference in the world. But she's great. So that's very exciting for you to have her as a part of your cast.
Agreed. Exactly.
No, absolutely. Josh Riley as writer.
Yeah, Josh Riley. Also another amazing person that I met from acting school, college. He has been working a lot himself as well, and I'm really proud of him, and I can't wait to finally work with him. His character is kind of like the Papa Bear in a way. So he and Kaylee's character are together in the film. And with Josh, when I first met him, I was like the freshman and he was like the senior. So our program was only 2 years, but he was my neighbor first year. And I just always remember him being super sweet and would talk me through anything, always cool to hang out with. And so his excitement for the film as a whole too just makes me really pumped. So I can't wait to see the dynamic that he and Kaylee have playing a couple in the film. I think it's going to be great.
That's awesome. And last but certainly not least, Gabriella Pizzolo.
Yes. So she, I don't know what's going on with season 5. I don't know the tea, so nobody asked me.
Stranger Things.
But she plays Susie on Stranger Things, and I had the opportunity to work with her about a year ago at a convention, because I also have worked at cons, and her and I were just chit-chatting. She started asking me about what I do for a living, and I started talking to her about it, and I told her I have a movie I'm working on, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, like, can I read your script?" And I was like, hell yeah, of course. Like, I'm not gonna say no if somebody wants to.
That would have been a freak out moment for me. I'd have internally been like, what?
Internally, yes, I was like, oh my gosh, okay. But like, because I've been doing this for so long too, I've kind of learned that barrier of like keeping it professional too.
Oh, for sure. So, it's just exciting to have anybody want to read your story.
So when I finally sent it off to her and she did the audition and we started connecting more, she's stellar, super talented, one of the sweetest people I've ever met and had to work with. I can't wait to work with her again, especially on set. And I think this is going to be a very interesting role for her. I'm curious to see where this all goes, because for those who haven't read the script, I'm going to be very intrigued for the day that it hits theaters, because that's the goal here for Never Return. And when it gets out and people are able to see it, I'm really intrigued to see who people think the antagonist is. I'm trying to make sure I don't spoil anything, but just to see who.
So
can
there's a
put
little
all
bit
the
of
pieces
psychological aspect to it. Seems like everybody's very character driven.
together.
And then are you just going to throw some curveballs at us with the psychological horror on top of it?
I'm trying to think of how
She's
to
been
answer
real choosy with her words, I've noticed.
Well,
I don't know,
because
put you on the spot. Don't share anything you're not ready to. I'm just ready for you to make this film so I can watch it, because it sounds like so much fun.
I am very, very excited for it. This is our first poster. My DP and I, and my co-writer, Adam Michael, and I, we designed this together. And I'm really, really blessed to have just one poster so far. And there's only so much more to come with this film, obviously. But as far as, I'm trying to think of how to phrase all this without
without giving away an indie horror junkie.
The tagline has me intrigued. We have been waiting for you. It's like, what is going on here?
Yeah, I was going to say with that poster, it is simple but effective.
Yeah.
It kind of draws you in, like, you want to know who the hell's been waiting for me.
Yep.
What does she mean?
Is it one? Is it multiple?
They.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it they? Is it one? Who knows? Who was involved in all of this?
Right. A little murder mystery or slasher murder mystery, I guess.
Pretty much.
Love and carnage. I love it.
Yeah. And you know what I like as you described this film, Never Return. You described it as, a little bit of drama, a little bit of comedy, of course, a lot of blood. And I really like that. I like a good mixture. Yet do I like a serious, I don't even know if there are serious slasher movies. But something with a more serious tone. But I'm absolutely a huge fan of horror comedy. Dale Tucker and Dale.
Yep.
Yeah, they are. It's a fun watch, and that's what this is all supposed to be about. Whether it's more of a serious watch, you're supposed to, enjoy your time. And I'm
peeing in your pants to giggling your ass off. I mean, come on.
Or
good time for me.
Right, laugh so hard you pee.
There you go. Yeah.
A lot of people that watch the Terrifier movies, and the only reason why I'm using it as an example is because it's when you think of comedy and horror films, you're not going to automatically think of Terrifier. But for me, when Art the Clown is laughing, sorry, I'm laughing too, because there's something about what David does with that character that makes it funny when we all ultimately know it's not supposed to be, but it is. So I think it's really cool to implement all kind of different genres in a way. A horror film, it gives it more oomph, I guess is the right way to go about it, which is I mean, and with Terrifier, along those lines, a little comedy thing, I think, is when she stabbed his foot or something and runs away, and he turns around and flips the bird, and that alone, that I was like, that is hilarious. Not a word had to be spoke, just one little finger, but you just kind of knew, that's great. You got a great cast for this. Do you have I know it all depends on how the Indiegogo, campaign goes, but do you have a projected date that you want to be on set? So I wanted to do it this year for sure, but because I'm still in talks with certain people and with the Indiegogo, that could be the primary source of it. for my cast and crew, I decided the best decision was to push it to next summer for filming. So that way it gives the Indiegogo more time to be available for other people. Because I also know, like, within the way the world is, I tried to make things as affordable as possible, and under, like, make sense as far as prices go. But again, maybe next month people will be able to start putting in more money or in contributing. It just depends. And so for my cast and crew, my biggest thing when I run my sets is to make sure everybody is safe and feels comfortable, is well paid, is well taken care of. And if I can't do that right now, then I want to make sure I'm doing right by them. And so I decided to push filming so that way I can take more time to finish talks with studios, and then also just still continue pushing the Indiegogo in case the studios fall through. And
I think you're right by doing that, Brandon. I really give you a lot of respect and support on that, because like you said at the beginning of the show, this has been something that you have been inspired to do since high school. This is something very significant and important to you. And if you've gotten this far and you've built this amazing cast, then yeah, do it right. There's no need to rush anything. There's no rules. There's no expectations. You have to just push all that to the side, because this isn't about anybody else except for you and your cast and your crew and the people that you were bringing in and attaching it to as far as producers and studios and things like that. So this is your world and your baby. And I admire you for saying, you know what? Let's take care of this and do it right. And let's just push it back a little bit. And when you're communicating that with not only the cast and the crew, but with everybody else, it actually gives everybody more time to fall in love with the campaign, and more people get to keep building the campaign and putting more out there and more information. So people, like, you know, even just this podcast, like, I kind of know you through the grapevine, but now just sitting and talking to you tonight and watching the Indiegogo campaign again, I feel like I have more of a connection and understanding of what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And if other people feel that too, they're going to connect with it. And those Indiegogo, you know, that funding's going to come in. And a lot of people spend time with their campaigns, and that's what makes it work.
100%. I agree with you 100%. And so somebody that we spoke about a little bit ago, prior to where we started, Rick, the selfie guy, the amazing Rick, he is also attached to the film. I love that guy. We have something that we're trying to figure out that's in the works to add to the Indiegogo. So keep an eye out for that, because another thing, because we push filming, obviously the Indiegogo is going to continue to move. I'm going to extend it to give it more time. And there's going to be some more new perks coming up. And so I'm really excited to continue adding and adjusting and making more things available for everybody. So I'm really pumped, and he's amazing guy and person to work with. So it's going to be really fun.
Speaking of Rick, I mean, I thought of a great idea, because obviously with perks, that's the tricky part with those Indiegogos, is trying to make something unique and something that somebody really wants to get. I think one fabulous perk, and maybe you should talk to Rick about it, is that if you can get somebody to contribute, like say $1,000, okay, Rick will put a Tampa Bay Buccaneers tattoo right on his arm. Okay, tell him that Rick requested that, and I may even pick up that perk if he does that. So tell him it's on.
Putting
I got you. I got you. Because there was another perk that I was throwing around a little bit, and I can't remember. I remember seeing this on another campaign, and I can't remember whose. For the love of God, I can't. But there was one where they're having people like pie people in the face. And I thought that would be super fun, and we would just let like our top billing, like if we'll have Kaylee pie me in the face, or then we'll have Rick pie somebody else in the face, or Felissa, or whoever, or if they want to start getting pied in the face, cool. Just like another huge thing I want to be able to do is to involve everybody. Even if you're not actively going to be working on the set, I want you to be able to have the opportunity to feel like you're as involved as possible, which is why were other things that I put in, such as like getting a video chat with me while we're actively working on set. You're going.
I'm so annoying. I'm the weirdo that's like messaging Brie on Instagram, like, do you think you could add this perk? Because if you added it.
No, but you did bring up one perk at one point that I was like, oh shit, you know what? I actually did have that written down at one point. I don't know why I didn't add it yet. And that was putting your brand in the film. So you got that perk, and now you're going to have the indie horror junkie shirt. One of the actors is going to wear it during filming.
Hey, Bryn, what do you think about? But it's fun. And that's the thing I love about Indiegogos is because you can just keep adding and adding and building the momentum to it and saving some good stuff for the end too. Surprise everybody.
Right, right. And so, yeah, that's why I keep, posting, every day to every other day, keeping, eyes on it constantly, because not everybody's on social media every single day. So I try to like space it out, but I'm also like, hey guys, let's keep it moving. What's going on? Yeah. But then I also, I don't want to be that person that messages people either. So it's like, I'm just going to post it. Hopefully
it's
people
got an ebb and flow to it for sure.
Right. So I'm making sure, that I'm keeping the momentum up as much as possible. And then just being understanding and respectful and professional and other angles as well. Because I'm not going to just go out and be like, hey. No, not you. Like, that was a completely different story. What I mean,
no. I just mean,
I don't want to bug people.
Like approaching everybody.
I don't know. Like, I don't want to annoy people or bug people.
No, we totally understand. We get it. We're the same way. Where are you guys going to be filming this?
Yeah, good question.
So I am looking at locations in North Carolina and Ohio. Because there are a couple people that I'm speaking to. What is your face went?
I'm in Ohio.
He lives in Ohio.
You're in Ohio. Okay. Well, I'm going to be in PA here in the next week. I'm going to be moving back up to PA for a little while. So we'll all be closer. I feel like we're going to have to get together at more cons and stuff, guys. Okay.
Oh, I'm sure we'll run in. I'm sure at least I will run into you by the end of the year. I feel like we're always just missing each other.
I swear to it. I feel like everybody
was down here for Spookala, and I didn't know, and I saw her pictures, and I was like, I'm 20 minutes away.
Yeah, I was at Spookala because I was like, hey, Rick, I'm going to print out some posters. How about you and I sign them, and you can just give them to people and we can talk about it. And it works. Like, we got rid of all the posters, and people were coming up and asking me questions, Rick questions. And it was a great experience to be able to do that, because I'm not used to that kind of stuff either. So it feels great to know people are actually interested
to just
and want to see this.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like, oh, people care. That's so cute. Yay. It makes
me promote it than at a horror con. Everybody's going to be excited about it. So
absolutely. And one way you can keep up with what Bryn is doing and the movie is right down there at the bottom. All of her socials are Indiegogos, her Facebooks, the TikToks.
The cringy TikToks. My TikTok is so random, it's ridiculous.
That's true. No, I love it. Yeah.
So, Bryn, you said that you were inspired to write this when you were in high school. What were those horror movies that you were watching in high school and in middle school? What were your inspirations? What are you drawn to? What do you love?
So, I actually started watching horror movies when I was about 2 or 3.
No, God bless you.
You have the same mental illness as all of us.
They do exist. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I can thank my mom, but mainly I can also thank my dad.
Hey, Doug.
My dad. Mom was a culprit in it, but more of my dad. My dad is a huge movie buff, but he loves horror so much. So he's the one who got me addicted to it. And I have just heard stories consistently to this day from when I was growing up. Oh, when you were 4 and I had to babysit you, you wanted to watch A Nightmare on Elm Street, or you wanted to watch Halloween. And I was just like, yeah, because I was probably like a terrifying child, honestly, but it's fine. So it's cool. But, as I've gotten older, that love for horror has just grown. And when I got to high school and I had the opportunity to write this script that's now turned into Never Return, I actually played this one video game called Until Dawn, and I guess you can I can't speak now. Here we go.
You told me about this. Yeah,
I did. If anybody watches Still City Screams, I stumble. And
You're in good company. We're always just trying to keep it together over here.
My life is crazy. But a huge inspiration for Never Return was the video game Until Dawn. I'm a huge gamer. I love video games. And Until Dawn has always been one of my favorites and always will be one of my favorites. I'm pretty sure it was one of the first games that Supermassive Games came out with the style it was, which is, so Until Dawn, if nobody's familiar with it, is a game about a group of friends that go to their friend's cabin. And this cabin is more like a mansion, honestly, rich family kind of thing. And it's where you have these choices you have to make that can alter the storyline. So it's like there's always different endings, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's interesting. I dig it.
And so when I wrote this, obviously I didn't want to make it like a whole copy because I don't want to get in trouble and sued. But it's like I liked the premise of it. And I was like, okay, let me see what I can do here with this to not make it an actual copy, but make it my own and make it personal and change a lot around with it. And although it has some similarities, there is so many differences from the game itself. Because when I look at certain kills that I wrote in the script too, you can look at it as, oh, that actually kind of reminds me of Michael Myers. Oh, that reminds me of Jason Voorhees or Art the Clown or whatever slasher you can think of. There's a lot of tip of the caps to a lot of horror films and games that I grew up playing and watching that mean a lot to me as far as, growing up and them being in my life. And so when I said in the campaign video how personal this film is to me, it really is my baby. And I want to not only be proud of what I'm putting out there in the world, but I want people to look forward to it. And when they're watching it, I want them to be able to relate to what's going on in certain ways or a character. I want people to be able to feel seen in a way, if that makes any sense. Because when you can find any kind of material that helps you feel like you can escape, I want people to go 50 years from now watching this with their kids and being like, wow, like this is still super important to me. Just like as it's important to me what I put out in the world. If that all made sense. I know I went on a little tangent. But
no, it makes perfect sense. I love it.
Yeah, that's great. It seems like you have
an artist.
It seems like you really have a good idea, a good plan on what you want. It's coming, from the heart, a passion project, if you will. And I think that to reiterate what Amy said earlier, I think it is also a great idea that, hey, we don't have to rush into this. Let's iron out all of the wrinkles in it. Let's make sure this thing flows like wine or whatever. I don't have an analogy, but it flows. There we go.
But no, for sure, yeah.
And that way it comes out, and it is something you're proud of. It is something that maybe will live on, like you mentioned, some of your favorite horror movies growing up. They still, hold their water today. And that's something I think every filmmaker would love to do, is to make a film that has that longevity, factor to it. So who was your favorite? I guess you were, even as a kid, I guess a slasher fan. I mean,
100%.
100%. Who's your favorite slasher?
Hands down, Michael Myers.
Oh, hands down, huh? All right.
Hands down. Because Ashley actually asked me this the other day. And she was like, Michael Myers or Art the Clown? And I was like, bro, we can cuss on this show, right? Not that I already
Oh,
have.
yeah.
This
Yeah.
is your show.
I was like, damn it, Ashley, fuck you. Like, come on. Like, how are you going to ask me that question? Because Michael is like part of the OGs. And then you have Art, who's
OGs.
the new generation. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, how
The new
the fuck
Gs.
are you going to ask me that question?
No.
But I was like, I have to say Michael, because when I was little, like I would say the first Halloween movie that I actually saw was Halloween 4 with Danielle Harris.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
And I was probably like 3 or 4 by then. And I feel like it was easy for me to watch that film because Danielle was a young child in that film. I was a young child when I first watched it.
Yeah.
And so I related very heavily to it. And I grew up loving Danielle. I've had the honor of meeting her multiple times, love her. But Michael, hands down, has always been and always will be my favorite. Yeah.
And there can be a
Universal
special
Monster.
place in your heart for both Michael and Art.
Yeah.
Here's what it is. It's you have that nostalgic feeling of horror that you grew up with that was embedded in you. And you just can't ever let go of that feeling and what it was to watch it. Because it's, and you guys can plug in how you feel about it, but I think it's all the same universal. Like, it's exciting and scary.
Yeah.
And it's like, I shouldn't be watching this, but I'm gonna watch it because I can get away with it right now, but you're still scared. But there's aspects of the film that you fall in love with, and you just don't ever forget that.
Yeah,
exactly.
I agree 100%. I mean, that's why I'm a hands down Michael guy. In 70s, early 80s had babysitters. Everybody could, pretty much relate to that. A lot of kids had babysitters. I was one of them. Yeah. And it wasn't until after my, my babysitting period that I actually got, the chance to see Halloween. I related so much just having to go back a few years in my life, like, wow, babysitter, scary guy in a mask running around, What about Universal Monsters? What's your favorite Universal monster?
It's kind of young, She saw Halloween 4 when she was a kid, which makes me feel old as hell.
I hope this doesn't make you feel too old because people are already trying to make me feel old, which is
Don't say it.
But I'm going to be 25 this year, so.
All right.
Oh, my new.
Hey, thanks for joining us, but we'll have to catch up with you some other point in time.
the indie
That's what's
horror
so amazing
elders.
about Bryn is look how young she is and how driven she is and what an entrepreneur
That's
she
a
is.
good
She
point.
just has been going on this journey for half of her life and she hasn't let go of it. And that's what's going to make this movie so special. Yeah. And that's why I love and respect that you're taking your time with it. Rick and I are working on something really special right now. We're not going to get into it, but we're taking care of it the same way. Like, let's take our time. Let's just really love on this and take care of it. And that's what you do when you have something so special and you know it. Yeah. You just want to protect it and just nurture it until it's ready and then release it to the world like a butterfly.
Bryn also had great upbringing too, quality parenting with her father, absolutely. Being a horror fan and getting her right into it early.
Props to our parents for letting us watch horror as young children.
Mass respect.
Yeah. Parenting win for sure. All right. Well, if the Universal Monsters was going back too far, then
no. I could definitely.
I was just jabbing.
I could definitely give you an answer.
Okay.
I don't. So I want to say Nosferatu, honestly.
Uh-oh. That's not a Universal monster, but okay.
Well, hold on.
It is tonight, Rick.
It is tonight. Okay, we'll shoehorn him in there.
But that's a good inspiration. That's a classic.
Nosferatu is classic.
And I say Nosferatu, and I don't. I can see where you're coming with it. Not completely part of the Universal monster, so that's where I would also bleed into Dracula.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I thought you were a Dracula person too. And as I have Bella on my hand. No, growing up, I was Dracula every Halloween for probably 5 years straight.
Prove it.
That's all I wanted to be.
It is impressive though that you were into Nosferatu, because that's old school silent movie and stuff. You don't really hear that a lot from people, so very impressive. Once again, kudos to your father.
Yes. Thank you, JJ.
Raising them right.
That's his little nickname. Thank you, JJ. And yeah, so I haven't seen like the original Nosferatu in a really long time. It's been a while, but I actually really like the black and white old films. I think I feel just like indie, it's underrated. Just like horror in general is highly underrated. But then you look at 2024 alone, within the last almost 6 months, there's been more horror coming out than any genre ever right now. And I love to see it. And I hope Hollywood starts giving horror their flowers. They deserve it. I'm sorry.
I agree. Horror has always been the redheaded stepchild. Yet people keep making it and it keeps making money, but yet nobody wants to admit it.
Yeah.
But indie is doing it right.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Indie's doing it right because it comes from a place of passion. It comes from a place of perseverance. Some of these films that you're seeing are a lifetime in the making.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just like, here's some money, here's your crew. We already lined the cast up, go make the film, you know, punch it out through the theaters. The indie comes from just years and decades of being inspired and, you know, boots on the ground, making the connections, building your team, and then just going for it, you know?
Bryn's a perfect example of that. She said she created this back when she was in high school.
Yeah.
You know, this has been percolating this whole time.
Hi, Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
First time watcher. Nice to meet you, everyone. Awesome. It was nice meeting you and your friend Amy at the venue there.
Oh, yeah. At Spooky Empire this weekend, they opened up this really amazing new restaurant. Very spooky vibes. Of course, I found myself there eating and
didn't see that
food. Yeah, and I met these incredible people to the table next to me. And funny story was,
here we go,
dessert delivered to their table. And I was like, what's that? Because I was, you know, looking at the dessert and they had monkey bread. And they offered to share their monkey bread with me. So how could I say no? So I went over and I took a piece. They had this huge plate of monkey bread, which I love. It's the first thing I ever learned to bake. I learned how to make monkey bread in the first grade. So I'm a big judge of it. So I go over and I take a bite of their monkey bread. And we just start talking. And I asked if they were at Spooky Empire, but they had just come to check it. Yeah. Just come to check out the restaurant as well. And lo and behold, everybody at the table is horror artists. They're either writers or skull-shaped monkey bread, writers, digital artists. They all do something within the horror realm. So we exchange information immediately, and we've been, you know, we got to keep in touch and help each other promote. But, you know,
absolutely,
another great example of the beautiful indie horror community.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
So, you know what? This is going to be a project, as you said, it's going to last a minute.
Yes.
So, you know, you were just constantly working on that. I usually ask, you know, any upcoming projects, but I think that's all, you know, that you're working on right now.
Is it?
Indie Horror Junkie exclusive. Another one.
Here we go.
So I do have a short film that I made with my friends. It's still doing a festival, you know, the festival rounds. It's called Special Delivery. Funny enough, so we've won some awards. One award that cracks me up to this day still is for best writing, when we had no script and improv the whole thing. So period.
Yes, and
did it right.
That's great, man.
And so once that comes out of the festival circuit, we will definitely be sharing it. I love the short. It was supposed to be more of a horror-based short, but it actually turned comedy. And it was a very, very big surprise when I watched it. I can't wait to share it with the world. I pretty much, in a sense, play myself. I have the same name in it. Then we have my friend Sarah. So it's her and I as the leads, and then our buddy Adam and Ashley will also be in that short. It's really funny. There's some blood, sexy moments, sassy.
Ooh la la.
Yeah. So
Everything horror.
It's
Everything horror, right?
so great to release that. I have a couple other shorts that I'm writing now with my friend Ashley, because I just want to keep creating, even while, I don't want to just not do anything, even while we're waiting to build up to filming for Never Return. Mm-hmm. I hate just sitting here. I'm super creative. I love creating. I love working on set. If that means it's a 2-person crew, I would do it. I don't care. I just love it. So we have a couple ideas under our sleeve. I have another feature that I'm working on script-wise. It's already past the 100-page mark, and I'm not even halfway through it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a horror miniseries.
You gotta let me read it, Bryn. You gotta let me read it.
It might have to be a 2-part feature. Instead of just having like the sequel, it's just part 1, part 2.
See, Rick, she does have the same mental illness as us. She just keeps working and working and writing. And
that's right.
This project, but I just wrote this last night.
I hear you.
I can't sit still. And another thing that I just really love about this industry as a whole is connecting with people and seeing how we relate. I love working with new people. If I could live on set every day, I would, whether that's acting in front of the camera, as the DP, as an assistant director, whatever. I do everything. And that's the best part of it, is I'm able to do multiple things. I don't have to
wear
just
many
pick one
hats.
thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I love every part of it. So it makes
and you're a
my
better
life go
writer
easier.
and filmmaker and actor for doing all those jobs, because you have such a
I
better
agree.
understanding of what is going on around you and what is that person doing and what is that person doing. You already know what's going on. So it gives you that sense of comfortability.
Yeah.
So that when it comes time to do your job, whatever it is on that production, you already know what it is and everything just flows. Everybody's on the same page.
Exactly.
Makes you very valuable on set.
Yeah.
I try.
You're welcome.
If Rick, Amy, if you guys got anything up, man, this hour absolutely,
It did. I looked at the clock.
Oh
I was
my
like,
God.
wow.
Great.
flew by.
Yeah.
First time I looked at the clock, we were 30 minutes in. I'm like, what? I
think I'm just excited to continue to watch the momentum.
Yeah.
Get behind this project, which is, that's the goal. Get those followers, get the momentum behind it, let people know who you are, what this movie is about, who's attached to it. I definitely love how you told us that this is something that you've been doing since high school, that you've been holding on to this for so long. I encourage you to push that out there even more, because that's going to pull at people's heartstrings.
Yeah.
And that's a really good element of selling this project, is just the years of passion behind it, because that means something to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And people's going to see that on the screen. I think that comes across, whether you're just, throwing something together to get a paycheck, or whether this is something that comes from the heart. I think that is, seen on the screen and people can see it,
Yeah.
Such a great conversation. Again, this could have lasted another hour or so.
I know.
Honestly.
And let this be a, testament to any young filmmakers that come across this podcast.
Yes.
With Bryn, very young, working on numerous projects, staying busy, gathering that experience. It can be done.
It can be done.
And we are, I think I speak for everybody when I say we're rooting you on. We're in your corner.
Proud of you, girl.
Yeah,
Thank you.
And you can come back anytime with new updates or whatnot. Anything big comes out, some shorts that you're doing, please come on, talk to us. Hey, has she been in the magazine? I'm not sure.
We're going to
Yeah.
pick up on that whenever she's ready to get into that marketing phase and start pushing
Yeah.
that post-production. And yep, we've talked about that. She's going to ping us. So consider yourself a part of the Indie Horror Junkie
That's
family.
right.
You already know that. Come back anytime. We're here to promote you and support you. And we're just so excited and proud of you.
And make sure Rick takes a picture of that Tampa Bay Buccaneers tattoo when that perk gets picked up. We'll put that in the mag for sure. That's a cover.
Oh, I'm going to shoot him a text right now and be like, listen. So I talked to a little friend.
That's right.
Named
Tell
Rick.
him cover photo.
So,
Get ready for your phone to blow up, Rick.
Yeah, we'll make him an indie horror hottie. Come on now.
There you go.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much for coming on.
It was a pleasure.
It was absolute pleasure speaking with you. Don't go nowhere. I'm gonna pop you backstage when it closes out, and then we'll say goodbye off the show. And but thank you so much again.
Thanks,
all of Bryn's socials are down there, and we'll talk to you here in just a few, Bryn.
Thank you.
That hour did fly by.
I know. She's out here doing the thing.
Yeah,
man. I knew she was young, but I never guessed she was that young and doing what she's doing. I think it's absolutely amazing. Yes, a lot of respect, to take, and like you said, Amy, hold on to that project and put it on the stage, and then want to put it on the screen for everybody to see. And I think it's absolutely awesome.
And her horror roots run deep.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, they do. Again, parenting win. Again, to reiterate, new look on the website. Check it out, indiehorrorjunkie.com. And while you're there, check out one of these bad boys, the new Indie Horror Junkie shirts. Absolutely awesome. Oh, show that up again there, Amy. Woo-hoo.
Cool shirt. And they're cozy and soft, so get you.
Oh, and while you're over there, picking up your shirt, if you don't have this, you might want to get that. And just a quick note: submissions are still open for the Indie Horror Junkie Film Fest, which is going to be next February 2025, the second annual Indie Horror Junkie Film Fest. Submissions are open. You can get to all of that from the new revamped site. So get your short, get your feature in there. We had a great time, as you've seen in our opening video. That was all the Film Fest. Great turnout.
Oh, yeah, MegaCon Orlando. You can find us right back there, February 2025.
Yep.
All right. So with that.
All right. We'll see you next Wednesday.